This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Hi, this is Ken Elliott. When I'm floating around the universe, I always try to tune in to Rob McConnell.
Hey, ho there, Twinkie Frog on Sesame Street. When I want to find out what's going on with UFOs or ghosts, I listen to the X-Zone with Rob McConnell.
This is Les Corrigan from Target Internet Development. You're listening to Rob McConnell on the X-Zone Radio Show.
This is John Hogue, Prophecy Scholar, and you're listening to Rob McConnell in the X-Zone.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Fortune teller, can you see what my future's going to be? Can you see it all in your crystal?
And welcome back to the X-Zone, everyone. My name is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and live and around the world on the Starcom Radio Network. Worldwide toll-free 800-610-7035 is the magic number to reach us here in the X-Zone. On all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. If you'd like to send us an email, it's very simple, on air at xzoneradiotv.com. And to listen to past shows of the X-Zone, to listen to the X-Zone Radio Show, there's a very simple way of doing it, all on one website, www.xzonearchives.com. You know, I've been doing this show for 24 years, and there are guests that you remember with fondness. There are guests you remember with skepticism, like the guy in Alberta who created a UFO deflector out of a car battery and red lights that he bought at Canadian Tire. There are those guests who are just plain out to lunch. Well, I'm not going to mention any names on this one. And then there's the guests who bring your listeners so much love, so much kindness, so much caring. And when I think of those guests, the guest that comes to the top of the list is my guest this hour, my good friend Jill DAHNE. She is known worldwide as the Love Psychic. Her mom is a very famous renowned psychic in her own right, Mickey DAHNE, and Jill has demonstrated a world-class ability of her own. When a young girl, a schoolgirl, Jill was sent home for telling the teachers what they were going to write before they wrote it. At the age of 13, Jill predicted on radio a terrorist attack 1 month before it occurred. Currently, Jill is listed as the #1 love psychic in the top 100 psychics in America, and the most amazing teenage psychic in America in Ripley's Believe It or Not. And here on the X-Zone, she is rated as the world's #1 love psychic. Joining me now is my good friend, the love psychic herself, Jill DAHNE. And Jill, welcome back to the X-Zone, dear friend. Jill, are you there? Jill, where are you? Jill DAHNE, where are you? Jill, are you there? Jill, are you here? I don't know where Jill went. Craig, do you know where Jill went? You don't? Well, why don't you call her back and we'll see what's going on. It's that simple. I know what happened. The aliens have her. Jill, are you with us? Jill, are you there? Jill DAHNE, where are you? Let's see. Jill, are you there? Jill. Craig, I don't know what happened to Jill. Why don't you get her back for me, Craig? She couldn't have gone that far. Well, unless she was abducted by aliens, and we all know what that means. She could be somewhere out there just flying around. I have no idea, my friend. Well, can you do that for me? And while you're doing that, why don't we go into our archive bank and why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? Do you want to do that? Oh, wait a second. Here she is here. And joining me now, I believe, is Jill Dane, the Love Psychic. Jill, are you there? Jill, where are you? Jill, are you there? She's showing up here on the screen, Craig. Jill, are you there? We're just going to keep trying this until we get her on, even if it takes the entire hour. All right, Craig, why don't you do this? Can you just go back into your magical box of tricks here? And let me see. Everything looks good here. Whoops. Jill, all right. Let's try this. Jill, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Oh, my God. It's really you.
It's me. It's like, I'm here.
Oh, Jill.
I heard you.
It's so nice to hear your voice, dear friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's Mercury retrograde. That's why it's like technical issues.
Why didn't you tell me?
Blame it on Mercury retrograde.
Why not? Why not? First of all, how's your mom and how's your son?
My mother is phenomenal. We just did a whole segment that's going to air for the winter, and it's a mother-daughter interview.
Uh-huh.
And it's going to be worldwide on the news. I'm like really, really excited about it. It's about our lives together.
You rule.
We just got through. Yay. I'm excited about it. It was a beautiful interview, beautiful television interview.
And
she's doing great.
She's doing great. And how's your son doing? How's his art doing?
Oh, my God. He's phenomenal. He just had a showing in South Beach with all his artwork.
My goodness. How old is he now?
He is going to be 18 in December. I'm getting old. I still, when I say that, I'm like, oh, my God, 18? I remember when I was saying he was 6.
My goodness.
Yeah, he's going to take his art. He decided he's taking his artistic abilities, and he's going to be a plastic surgeon.
Good for him. Good for him. And I'm sure that both you and your mom have been a great source of inspiration for him.
Oh my God! Between his intuition and his artwork, Rob, he's amazing. We have been. When he was little, I'll never forget when they put his artwork on a cover of a magazine, and he was 6, and they had to call me to ask me if it was okay because he was too young. And his words were, "I use my intuition. I channel through Van Gogh and Picasso, and art is my passion."
Whoa! How old was he at 6?
6 years old.
My Lord, that must have shocked the heck out of a few teachers.
Well, at 7, he spoke 6 languages. 7 years old, 6 languages.
What's the explanation? I mean, besides he has a very talented and smart mom who has a very smart and talented mom.
Yeah, well, he's a very gifted child, and some kids are sponges at that age. Mm-hmm. And I believe he's an old soul. He's older than he really is. Some kids are that way. That's why I always tell families, always listen to your children when they're young. Don't say, "Oh, that's not What are you talking about?" Write it down, because a lot of them are very, very old and very intuitive, and they're amazing.
Jill, what is the difference between an old child and an indigo child? We're hearing this a lot more these days, where the indigo child is here, and they're typically the children who just don't fit in school. They don't fit in sociologically. How does this differ from an old soul?
To me, I believe they're the same. It's just two different wordings for them. Indigo and Old Soul to me is the same name, but different words.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same category, different words, and they don't fit in because a lot of them are so intuitive and they come from they're older than they are, and they're
mm-hmm.
sitting in with children that are their same age, and in reality they get along better with older people, and they know more. They know more than and they see more than what a normal child would see. Like when Jimmy was little,
mm-hmm.
he said to the teacher, "I'm bored. I'm in a room with babies," and he was in the same age bracket. But Jimmy counted to 100. He knew his ABCs, and he knew that Clinton was the president and Gore was the vice president. And what child at 17 months would know that? Plus, he spoke 3 languages at the time.
No children that I know.
Child, right? Other children are crying at that age, and he would be drawing these magnificent paintings. At 3 years old, he would draw these magnificent pictures. So when he was 6 years old, he got put in a gallery in Boca in Meisner Park, and they wanted to sell his paintings for $5,000 a painting, and I said, no, you can't sell it, because I wanted to keep them for myself. But at that age, they wanted to sell his paintings for that price.
Is it possible, Jill, that the children of today who do not show the characteristics of a indigo child or an old soul are just children who cannot maintain or retain the information that they have brought back with them from the great beyond before coming back to this life?
I do believe that, or they don't have someone like me as a mother,
mm-hmm.
or like I had my mom, Mickey, which I still have. Where it was okay to speak, and it was okay to be who I am.
Right.
And all my friends knew who I was, so I fit in. I wasn't abnormal, but to other kids who are like me at a young age and are like Jimmy at a young age, where they're not around people that are very spiritual, that they don't fit in. But what I'm loving nowadays is that the world is being more open, and a lot of people are coming out, if I could say, and using their intuition. Mm-hmm. And some are allowing their children, there's methods that people are going to lectures, and they're reading books now, and they're listening to Rob McConnell's radio show and watching TV, and they're saying to themselves, they're getting fine-tuned into what spirituality is really about, and then they're realizing, wow, when I pick up the phone, I know who's on the other line, and it's not abnormal. Or if I see somebody, or I see something about someone, it's not abnormal. It's because I'm intuitive.
In the bio that
the world is...
I'm sorry, dear, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the world is changing. That's what I'm saying. Years ago, if I would mention astrological signs, no one knew what they were. No one could understand them. They were like, what is that? Now, if you say you're a Virgo, oh my God, yes, and my planet is in here, my Pluto is in here, and my Mars is in here, and it's like, oh my God, wow, I'm so excited, you know. But when I was 15 and I would say it on radio at 15, they'd be like, what are you talking about, So now it's like, yes, Jill, and I got to watch out for Mercury retrograde, and I'm like, wow, that makes my day. It's so exciting.
Speaking about radio interviews, at the age of 13, Jill, you predicted a terrorist attack 1 month before it occurred. Which terrorist attack was that?
It was the Hanafi Muslim attack in Washington, D.C. I predicted to the time, to the date, on a radio show in Tampa. His name was John Eastman. And it was to the time, to the date. And then March, I forgot the date by now, my God. but it was March, a date in March, the early March. It happened, and it was. I kept seeing on his show all these. I kept seeing Muslims. I kept saying, I keep seeing Muslims, and I said, I see blood everywhere, and I see a whole bunch of people, getting shot in front of the White House. I keep seeing the White House, and I mentioned the date, and I saw a time frame. So exactly on that date, 92 people got shot, killed, and there was blood everywhere, which I don't like to say, but it happened on the time and the date, and they took the president away. Back then, they listened and they took the president away. And it happened right in front of the White House. That was back in 1977.
My God.
March 1970, it was the Hanafi Muslim attack, 1977. It got put in Ripley's for that prediction because it was exact date, and it was in the newspapers as well. And also, it was so amazing. On that show, that's when I made my first marriage prediction with Farrah Fawcett and Lee Majors on that show.
Tell me, Jill, the world is in a very screwed up state these days. We have the Middle East crisis. We have China reclaiming land in the middle of the, 600 miles off of its shore. We have North Korea flexing a nuclear muscle. We have uncertainty within the different religious philosophies. We have Islam, who's trying to take over the world. We have, just today, there were 3 bomb threats called into 3 different airline companies. How do you go through all the different data that you must be absorbing from the past, the present, the future, and accumulate it into making sense and coming up with so many accurate predictions?
Because I kept seeing the bomb threats getting thwarted, which they were. And those are threats. Korea is always going to, I've been predicting about Korea for years. And it was in a newspaper article about Korea, but I never saw them actually making it over to the United States. Just like when someone said California will be underwater, and it was supposed to be underwater. I remember coming on your show, and what's so ironic, on Facebook it says memories from 2011, and on your show you had said, Jill, so is the world going to end? And I wrote it on my Facebook after what I said on your show that day, and I said the Mayans will run out of ink, I think I said, something like that. And the memory just came back up, and I said the world is not going to end. It's going to be a beautiful, sunny day. Everyone's going to wake up, and the bank accounts are still going to be there. The computers are still going to be there, because we are so far ahead of everybody. And that's what happened in 2012. Like me and you were talking. You and I were talking about nothing was going to happen, and nothing happened. Here, there's always going to be threats. Everyone's jealous of the United States. And there's always going to be threats against the world, and there's always going to be these people that need to see therapists, if I could say, in my eyes. I'll say it that way. Or they think they're going to go to heaven and have these 1,000 wives, which, they're not. But I don't see anything damaging over here. I believe we're going to be one step ahead. China is always going to be China. Korea is always going to be Korea. They're not going to make it over to the United States. Everyone should be positive, and I know it's easier said than done, but psychically I don't see it happening.
2016 is coming around very fast, and there are so many people who are throwing in their political hat when it comes to the presidential race. Jill, go on a limb.
I changed my mind. I'm going to tell you.
You changed your mind?
I changed my mind. The reason being, I had this vision. I always said I see Hillary Clinton being president.
Yeah.
Always said that. And 2 years ago, I saw her running again. which she wasn't sure if she was going to run. And I saw it against Jeb Bush, and I kept saying, Jeb Bush is going to become president. I had this vision 2 days ago, and it was this big celebration with red, white, and blue, and I saw female, and I kept seeing Hillary Clinton's face. So I'm sticking to that. That was my first prediction, and I'm keeping it. I believe Jeb Bush is going to be a very, rough tie, like what happened with Hillary Clinton and Obama running against each other, where Hillary Clinton was supposed to win, and she did win in Florida, and she did win in Ohio, but they took the votes. And there's going to be, always going to be a scandal, just like there's always going to be an earthquake in California, an earthquake in Japan. That's nothing new. But there's going to be a very, very, hanging on a string, tie to tie. Remember this. And she's going to win it over. I saw it a few days ago.
How about President Obama? Is he going to complete his term?
Yes, he is. When people, that's why I always say so many people put doom and gloom out there. And when they were sitting there saying, oh, he's going to get assassinated, he's not going to make it, through his presidency. And I kept saying, and I even said it on your show, I said, no one's, people could try to hurt him, but nothing's going to happen. He's going to make it through. And he's still going to make it through. I don't believe he's not, God forbid, he's not going to get assassinated. I heard all those stories when he was president that 3 months after he's not going to be here. Well, he's still here. Yeah. So, yes, he will.
Jill,
I had to say that because people throw out these morbid predictions, and they don't happen.
Exactly, and I was just going to say that, Jill, that over the many years I've known you, and over the many years you've become a very close personal friend of mine, I have never heard you say a bad word against anyone. And I love that about you.
Well, when people that throw out negative, and that's why I always tell everyone out there, always try to be positive. Surround yourself with positive mind-like people like yourself. And that even goes with your colleagues or, your friends. If somebody is always negative, misery loves company.
Yeah.
Always remember that. And that's where you need to walk away from and just put yourself in that light with light people. I love people, and I love what I do. That's why I refused, Rob. 2 years ago, we did 8 segments of a TV show. And the TV station, I can't mention what station because I signed a clause in there. But I refused. They wanted it to be like those housewives, how they are rude to people, to each other, and I'm not like that. And I had to get lawyers involved to cancel the show because I refused. I am a holistic person. Holistic people don't do things like that. And I refused to be part of a TV show like that. And it was my show. And I brought in a few people. And I canceled the show.
What do you think about some of the psychic or medium shows that are on TV now? Without naming any names,
I don't watch TV.
That's because you don't have the time. You're always doing readings for people, helping people out, helping people get back on track.
Yes, I don't watch TV. The only TV I watch, to be honest with you, is that very late at night, I watch Law and Order.
Oh, that's my favorite show.
That's my favorite show.
Oh, I'm telling you. And
I got when I was in New York, one of the people from Law and Order came to see me personally. I was so excited.
You're kidding. I love the old Law and Order with Chris North.
Yes, that's my favorite.
Da-dum, da-da-da-dum,
I watch it every night.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
can't believe you're saying this.
Yeah?
I can't believe you're saying this. My favorite show. That's the only show I watch. When everyone says, I say, why watch the news?
Mm-hmm.
You're watching doom and gloom, right? So everyone gets themselves all upset. And plus, they have me to let them know when the weather is not going to be good or not, right?
Yes.
So I tell everyone, so what do I need the TV for? And, why watch people getting hurt, people this? Why bring that into your day of life? Why? I always say that.
Yeah.
Start your day, do some yoga, meditation, start your day fresh instead of watching doom and gloom sometimes. There are shows out there that are very nice, I'm pretty sure. But I love Law and Order. That's my favorite show.
It's a great show. How do you prepare yourself for your day? Do you meditate in the morning? And how do you protect yourself from negative psychic forces that may try to infiltrate the good Jill Dahne when she's working to find out how she can help someone who is sitting in front of her and asking for her help?
Well, my recommendation for myself, I'll just say for myself, I'll tell you, at nighttime when I'm done with the day, I always take a bubble bath with Epsom salt water, and I put Irish Spring bubbles in there, and I clear myself. That's my clearing of the day.
Oh, my God. God. Irish Spring is my favorite soap.
That's my soap. I can't believe it. That's all I use.
Do you know what?
They have the squeeze bottle.
Yeah.
Did you get that one with the little beads in it?
No. I use the bar soap because for two reasons. Number one, actually there's three reasons. It's green, my favorite color. Number two, it smells so good. It's like a bathroom deodorizer. And number three, it makes me feel good. I feel invigorated after I use Irish Spring soap. And by the way, Exo Nation, Irish Spring is not an advertiser.
No. I put on Facebook.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, I said, if you want to relax, because everyone kept saying, how do you relax at night? Excuse my bulldog. So I tell them, go buy the bottle. It comes in a squeeze tube with the little beads in it, and I put it in the bathtub with some Epsom salt.
Right.
And you come out refreshed. You smell so good, and you feel good, and it relaxes you. And everyone went and bought it.
Really?
And now everyone's using it.
My producer Craig has found something just for you, and just listen to this, okay?
Okay.
This is the Jill Dahne theme song here on the Exxon. There you go, Jill. We just want you to feel at home whenever you're here.
I want to say something to you.
What's that, sweetie?
Starting after the fall, when you watch one of their new episodes, I'm going to be in New York, and you're going to see Jill Dahne on one of their shows.
Fantastic. I want an autograph picture. That's it.
Yes. That's my favorite show. I can't believe it's
great.
yours too.
Yeah.
But what I do in the morning, is I have to have coffee, and I just relax myself. I always light, and I always believe in a white candle. White candle is clearing, and I always light a white Yankee. It's called White Yankee Pure Cotton Candle. That's not an advertisement, but that's been my candle for years, and that's how I start my day. Other people, they should do some meditation. Always sit. Every person should sit for 5 minutes before they start their work. Before they even start, even if they're clairvoyants, to start their appointments, they should meditate for 5 minutes, say a mantra. I always put mantras out for everybody, or as aspirations for everyone, and say one of them. Or also, if you're not in a good place and you're sad, write something on your mirror, like look on the mirror and say, I am beautiful. I am going to have an amazing day, and put that on your mirror. So when you wake up, you look at that. How can you not have a great day? how can your life not change?
You know, so many people today are influenced by negativity instead of looking for the positive in life and enriching and embracing things that are positive. The only time that I see an influx of good in this world is around Christmas time, Jill. And I've said this many times. Just imagine what a great world this would be if we could have each and every day the love, the spirituality, and the camaraderie that we have during the Christmas season. Wouldn't it be a great world?
I wish every day was Christmas, and that's how people should feel, that every day should be Christmas, or every day should be your birthday. Or when someone, and I try to tell my clients, there are times, and listeners as well, there are times where something drastic happened on a certain date. Well, on that day, do something wonderful. So that will erase that moment of that memory that you had, and it will become a good memory.
Yeah.
So, you know, Christmas should be every day. Your birthday should be every day, and I love Christmas too. Christmas is, even though I'm Jewish, Christmas is my favorite holiday. So we're on the same track.
I wouldn't.
I think that's when everyone's happy.
I certainly wouldn't want every day of the year to be my birthday, because that would mean every year I'm getting 365 years older per year.
You get younger, Rob. You get younger. You do not get old. You get younger. Every year you get younger. So you're always 20 years younger than you are. Always.
Jill, what are some of your predictions as the love psychic?
Well, I do want to say one thing. I made this prediction, and I still see it happening, about Selena Gomez for my younger listeners, because everyone always wants to know about Justin Timberlake, and I still see them getting back together.
Really?
Yes. Shocking, huh?
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
And my prediction about, I even said it on your show, just, what was that? 4 weeks ago, I think it was?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
I said, you'll see Kim being pregnant, and they just announced she's pregnant.
Well, if you can't trust...
Kim Kardashian.
If you can't trust the love psychic, who can you trust?
That's right.
Yeah.
But I want to say one thing. Brian Williams, you know who he is?
Sure, he's the NBC anchor that lied through his teeth, got caught about it, and was subsequently suspended, right?
Right. One thing in life I can't stand is a liar or someone who's a thief, and especially people that lie to the world. But I do see him being able to come back as a news anchor. He's going to be back. For which
network?
I don't believe it's going to be one of the top news stations.
Yeah.
It's going to be on a different station, but they're going to bring him back. Someone's going to feel sorry for him.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of feeling sorry for him. You know, when it comes to the persona that you would want your news anchor to have, he has it. He's got the looks, he's got the voice, he's got the mannerism, but he's a liar. So, I want to interrupt you. Oh. You have the looks. You have beyond the personality. You are my favorite talk host out of anyone I've ever, and I could say that, and I've been on radio and TV my whole entire life. And I've always said this to you. You are better than Larry King. And you are going to be on a huge, huge network. I see it. I wish you could replace him. From your mouth to God's ears.
Yes. But I also want to say, for the Heat fans, I see Dwayne Wade leaving.
I'm sorry, which fans?
The Heat, Miami Heat fans.
Oh, yes, okay.
For basketball?
Yeah.
Wade is going to be leaving the Heat.
That's good.
That's a big prediction.
Yeah, you're going to be upsetting quite a few people.
I know. I predicted, the Heat, the championships and everything.
Yeah.
For all the ones that they did, and my daughter Zoe was at his party, and I was invited to his party. Zoe was named by the Heat and was in the newspaper with Adonis Haslam, the Heat player, and they named her the most valuable basketball player, my 13-year-old.
Wow, that's quite some honor.
She does 3-point shots.
And does she have her mom's psychic ability as well?
Oh my God, she's so intuitive.
So she knows
intuitive.
So she knows where the players are going to be before they're even there.
Yes, she does. She's amazing. She reminds me, Jimmy and Zoe, not because they're my kids, but everyone says it. Whoever meets them. She walked up to someone just recently and said, "Your husband is not for you."
Oh, jeez.
And she mentioned, I said, "Zoe, you can't do that." And she reminded of me when I was little because I never filtered anything. And that's why I love kids. They don't filter. And I said, "Zoe, you could say that. You don't say that." And she says, "No, he is seeing somebody." And that woman started tears coming down her eyes because she just the night before on his phone found texts of her husband saying, "I love you" to someone else.
Oh.
She's amazing. Zoe is amazing. People are saying, one of my clients said when they met her in New York at my lectures just recently, called me and said, "You know what? I want to talk more with Zoe, Jill. Zoe said some things to me, and it didn't make sense. And 3 weeks later, everything she said happened." And she's 13 years old. She reminds me of me. My mini-me.
Mini-me.
My mini-me. I call her my mini-me. But I do see Cuba, and I said this before, with sports. And I want your listeners, whoever is saving their money, and I've said this on your show several times, and I want to keep this prediction going, because I've always said Cuba was going to be, like paradise.
Yes.
And that's where people should save their money, because that's where you want to buy property. I
remember you telling me this years ago, that Cuba and the United States would get back together again, and that Cuba was going to be a vacation mecca.
I said it was going to be paradise, and it was going to be amazing. And now people are allowed to fly over there and spend money. People are vacationing in Cuba. Who would think all these years later this would ever happen? And I made this prediction when I was 21 years old. That was only 2 years ago.
I was going to say, wasn't that about 3 years ago? So I was off by a year.
Yeah. But you're going to see Cuba getting into sports, and I'm like so excited because my other prediction, I said soccer was going to come to Florida, and I saw Beckham putting it in Florida, and you're going to see within the next 2 years that it's probably going to be over where the University of Miami is. They're going to build something over there.
When it comes to world events, can you give us any insight into what you foresee in major world events?
World events, well, one, the immigration law is going to get passed. That's huge. I'm keeping to this prediction, and I believe that's going to happen. And that's one prediction I am very, very happy about, because I have a lot of people that have been here for many years, and they're not supposed to get deported. They've been here. They have families, and the ones that are here already. So I see that prediction happening. Another prediction is, one thing that I want to say, this is for all the people that are healers out there. I want to throw this out there, that the insurance companies are going to start paying healers, the people that are these holistic healers, to go into hospitals, and the insurance company will be paying them. Isn't that going to be nice?
It's about time. It truly is.
Right? The work they do, because there's some really good healers out there.
Yeah.
And I believe the insurance companies will pay that.
Do you know who I think...
I love on...
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jill. Go ahead, dear.
The first time when we were on the show, we predicted about that they were going to have a Princess Diana wedding, right?
Yes.
And I predicted a boy, and it was a boy. And then I saw a little girl, like a little Diana. I predicted a boy in the newspaper, in the Globe magazine, and I did a whole astrology chart on him. And no one knew what she was having, and it was a boy. But on your show, I always saw that she was going to have a girl, and she just had a girl. And they named the middle name Charlotte Diana, I think the name is. What's the name of the child?
Oh, geez.
Of the little girl.
You're putting me on the spot
I just
here.
had a brain freeze. Yeah, I just had a brain freeze. But I see in the following year she's going to get pregnant again. So you could say a year and 4 months from now, you'll see she's pregnant again, and it will be another little girl. So I believe a boy and 2 girls.
So that's the royal family. When it comes to, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but I'm compelled to ask you. When it comes to the UFO question, do you believe that UFOs and ETs are real?
I do. I do believe in UFOs. I never experienced a UFO until I'm going to say this. My girlfriend Phoebe Snow was always telling me about UFOs and ETs. May she rest in peace. She was a famous singer, and she believed that she saw them. And I heard so many stories, but I never saw it myself until I see something myself. You can never say no until you see it yourself. So I was asked to do a lecture in Arizona at the university, and we were out in Arizona, and the second day I said, I want to go see Sedona. And we went to Sedona, and I'm like, everyone's talking about Sedona. Why am I went to Israel, I felt very spiritual, when I got off the plane. Here, I see the mountains, it's nice, but I'm not feeling anything. But my son Jimmy was, and the person, my client who was with us, was feeling it all. So we get back in the car, and we're driving back to Phoenix. I'm on the phone, and all of a sudden I look in the sky, and I see these lights. And I said, Marla, what are those lights? Oh, Jill, it's an airplane. Okay, so I'm back on the phone. Next thing, I see another set of lights. And I said, Marla, you're telling me that's an airplane? And she says, yes, Jill, it's an airplane. I'm like, okay. Next thing, there's another set of lights. It's like this triangle, and it's coming down now. I said, stop the car. Jimmy, get your video camera out. I said, this is not an airplane. And he videoed, and in Arizona, they have a 911 UFO.
Okay.
So we called, and they said to look on a certain website, and on that website, there was 100 other people that saw the same thing we saw at the same time. That wasn't to me, that wasn't an airplane. I know what an airplane looked like. I don't know what it was, but it was coming down, and I made her drive. Once I had it on video, we drove like so fast to get out of there. What is your opinion on UFOs?
Well, you know me better than a lot of other people. I'm a realist. I want to see evidence.
Right.
I want to see evidence, but I want to believe, and that's why I want to see the evidence.
Me too. I don't know what that was. I can't say it was a UFO because it did not come down to the ground like it shows on E.T., like the movie.
Yeah.
But it was something. It was something in the sky. I can't say what it is, but 100 other people saw it. What we saw at the same time. Like I said, until I see something, I can't say no because I didn't see it. But when I saw that situation, I was like, wow. I don't know what it was. I can't confirm if it was a UFO, but I have it on tape, and there were a whole bunch of different lights flickering on and off. It was really... That made my day. So then I could say, wow, something, out of the whole trip, at least I got some excitement, right?
Yeah.
That's what I said. Because I was like, Arizona's boring to me. I'm sorry. And I don't mean to offend I don't mean to offend listeners that are from Arizona, but, Sedona, have you heard of Sedona? I'm pretty sure you heard of Sedona.
Oh, sure. I sure have. I have. And I've heard.
Believe me.
I've heard that
when you come to the. Oh, I'm sorry.
We're talking over each other, so you go ahead. You're the guest. You're the lady.
I'm sorry. When you come to the United States, go see New York instead.
I've been to New York. I love New York. That city has an energy all of its own.
Yes, the people, everything there. It's just so wonderful. I love New York.
You know what New York has that's really super? Two things. Pizza and hot dogs.
Yes. I love the hot dogs. But I love hot dogs. I don't eat meat, but I get turkey hot dogs.
Isn't turkey meat?
Meat. Well, I mean red meat.
Oh,
red meat, I believe causes a lot of like dairy. Even children that have like epilepsy, or seizures. I've always said if the parents would take them away from dairy products, the seizures would go down to like from grand mal to petite mal seizures. A lot of dairy stuff to me causes a lot of the cancer out there, and that's my psychic opinion. If you could stay away from a lot of red meat, it's healthier for your body. A lot of people are more into health this coming years, and they're going to be living longer than people that from 5 years ago or from 10 years ago. You're going to see people living to 100 and 105. Like Rob McConnell, he's going to live to 100 and 200 years old. We can't,
You can't keep a good guy down. That's right. Do you think that do you believe, Jill, based on what you see, what you feel, and the information that you gathered from the universe, that in years to come, cancer, tuberculosis, multiple sclerosis, and all these other life-threatening diseases will be eradicated?
Yes, I do. There's so many cures that are going to be happening besides the stem cell that I predicted back in '89 that is going to cure all these diseases. There's going to be so many other techniques that are coming out that are going to help people. There's techniques right now for people with heart issues that, people are going to have less heart attacks. That's going to be a good thing. But, with cancer and diabetes and Parkinson's and that, it's the stem cell that I believe is going to be curing a lot of people. That's been my prediction for many, many years. But besides the stem cell, there's going to be other cures in the next 7 years. There's always going to be something new coming out that's going to help people. And the stem cell is going to be helping the people with AIDS and HIV as well. So people are going to be living longer. You see, people are, the younger generation, as they get older, a lot of people are becoming more healthier. They're eating healthier. They're taking vitamins. People weren't doing that back then. So it's going to be, they're exercising. A lot of people are into exercise, walking. That's good too. But also drinking bottled water, not water from the faucet. Always drink bottled water. Rob, do you drink water?
I drink a lot of water. And
Bottled water, I hope, right?
Bottled water, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
don't drink faucet water because there's chemicals in that water from the faucet.
Yeah, my eating habits have changed substantially over the years. I enjoy salads, I enjoy fish, I enjoy chicken. I enjoy. I don't like processed foods. I've developed a negative taste in my mouth whenever it's processed food. We don't go to the drive-thrus. We don't go to the fast food joints. I'd rather sit at home, have some nice fish with a fresh salad, drink plenty of water, and enjoy life.
I do everything you do, but I drink sun-kissed soda. And I'm telling everyone to drink water because they should drink water. But everything that you're absolutely correct. And if people continue that path with eating healthy, they're gonna be healthy. And that's what these years are all about. Is people are coming into their health, they're coming into their own self. And they're going to be living long and healthy and beautiful, and they need to follow their intuition, never second-guess their intuition, just follow it. They'll have all their answers.
Hey, Jill, I hate to do this, but our time is up for tonight. I want to thank you ever so much for coming on, my friend. It's always a great pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to the next time that you grace us with your presence here in the X-Zone on the Starcom Radio Network.
Oh, thank you.
You take care, dear. Love you too, Jill.
I
Give my love to Mickey. Exo Nation, if you'd like to contact Jill Dane, her website is www.jilldane.com. Well, that's it for tonight, Exo Nation. I'll be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock as once again we cross the time-space continuum to this place that I call the X-Zone, right here on the Starcom Radio Network. So until tomorrow night, if you can help someone make their life a little bit better, please do, and always remember to keep your eyes to the sky and your heart to the lake. Good night, everyone.
Take me home. I know